If you have come to this channel because you've been searching the term Zone 3 gardening, you are in luck. If you've thought to yourself, there's no way I can grow a bunch of stuff in Zone 3, it's too cold, nothing grows here, hopefully this garden tour is going to prove you wrong. So come with me, I'm going to show you everything that's possible, and August is the prime month, so it's going to be great. This is the garden trellis, but unfortunately the pumpkins did not get the memo that they're supposed to go over top. However, we do have some nice sweet peas that are coming in here. Now, one thing that might surprise you about growing sweet peas in Zone 3 is that they always seem to bloom in August. I just can't get them to bloom much earlier than that. The nasturtiums, I'm so pleased with them, how they've like started to cascade. Nasturtiums are one of those plants that they sort of fill up the space you give them. So I like to put them at the end of the bed so they look really pretty. What else? So in this bed, the lettuce is actually long done. It would taste bitter, but I'm letting it go to seed. I found last year that anything that I let go to seed had much better germination than some of the stuff that I was buying. So we really loved this variety. And then there's one over here as well. This is the Freckles variety, and this worked really well for us, had a fantastic taste. So we're saving seed from this one too. And then over here, I just want to point out this Russian tarragon. So if you like tarragon, it's super delicious. But if you're a cut flower farmer, this is such a great plant to use as greenery. I have cut this very hard, at least 3 times, and it just keeps coming back and keeps coming back. So definitely want to add that one to your list. So over in this bed, I have grown ground cherries, and for many years I've tried to grow them and not been very successful, but they seem to like it here in the raised beds. They taste like pineapple, and they look sort of like mini tomatillos. I think they're related. And once these ripen and hit the ground, you can eat them. They're so delicious. I don't think we will ever have enough for jam or anything because we all like them too much and just snack on them whenever there's a ripe one. So this is the West Coast Seeds bed, and this is the one where I had my $100 cut flower project. You can see the video about the plan right up here. And this bed has basically changed quite a bit over the seasons, and it was just as I was hoping for. So now that we're entering into midsummer, late summer, the status is starting to bloom. The the asters are really starting to take off, as well as our straw flowers. And over here are cosmos. I have cut from these cosmos quite a bit already, and they just keep coming back for more. And then over in behind here, we have 2 different types of amaranth. Now, in my cut flower business, I tend to need almost every single stem that is harvestable, so I've been cutting from these, but they will come back and they will still give me some beautiful branches right up until frost. Then over here, we're starting to get the West Coast Seed sunflowers. So of course I couldn't fit everything in the bed. These are the white light sunflowers. They're so beautiful and gorgeous in wedding bouquets, or just for the early summer ones when we're not ready for fall tones. Then back over here, oh dear, I think we have some of the white nights, so they just have a darker center to them. And then over here, these are, I believe, the Autumn Beauty. And as you can see, they're already taller than me. So these should be blooming in about a week or 2. And hopefully next time we do a garden tour, you'll be able to see these beauties. So over here in the greenhouse, things are really taking shape. Our tomatoes are doing fantastic. So we have prioritized the tomatoes that did well for us last year. So the Costoluto Fiorentes, and we got a different brand of Costoluto, the Genovese, this year. Then we also found that our Hungarian Hearts were really good for us. And then there's a few others in here, and I'll probably do a follow-up video when everything is ripe and they're way more interesting to look at. But come and see how big some of these tomatoes are. This one over here is like our prize tomato. I'm so excited. We've got another big one back there too. These are the Costolutos, and we saved them from seed last year, specifically from a plant that produced a lot. And as you can see, they are producing quite a bit again and just starting to ripen. And finally, if you love paste tomatoes but don't like how small they are, you need to plant yourself a Hungarian heart. They're so huge, so meaty. They don't have a lot of seeds, but totally worth it. We also saved seeds from this one and definitely will be again next year. So over here are the peppers. Now, usually I have really good success with peppers and seed starting them, but this year I didn't. So most of these are actually from the nursery, but they're looking really great. We have, oh, unfortunately we have some blossom end rot, but we do have some beautiful reddening of the peppers. There's another one here that's pretty decent. My favorite pepper to grow. These are where all the Hungarian hearts are. And if you're new to pepper growing, or you just feel like you're never successful with peppers, I encourage you to plant a Hungarian wax. They're so easy to grow. And like, look how big they get. So you can harvest them at this color, or you can wait until they turn red. It's totally your preference. Over in this area is the flower farm, and this is the part that I personally am probably the most excited about. But there have been a lot of struggles. So over here with the snapdragons, these have had a lot of bug pressure. We've had a lot of Japanese beetles. I've been killing them like once a day, and they're still overrunning my snaps. Back over here, these are probably my favorite snapdragons. I believe these are the Potomac Bronze, and please don't come at me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But I've grown them for the last 3 years. I just love how they look like a sunset. And unfortunately, because of those beetles, they don't look as pretty as they could. Oh, here's one of the stupid beetles. But you know, I've still been able to get some usable stems. For those of you who watched my video about starting glads, you can find the pre-sprouting video here. This is why we do it, because now at the beginning of August, we have some viable glads that are already starting to bloom. And now it doesn't mean you can't pre-sprout and you can just put them in the ground. You can do that, but those flowers are just not going to bloom until almost the frost. And then you might not see anything if you get a surprise early frost. Hi, Fizzy. You want to come? Hello. Hi, baby. Oh, who's that little bug? All right, let's go on the garden tour. This is also a new plant to me. It's called Auroch, and I could cut it right now, but I really want the seeds later in the fall. So, yuck! What are you saying yuck for? So I'm gonna wait. Over down here are my 3 precious bells of Ireland plants. People really loved them in the flower farm last year, but I just had such terrible germination, and these 3 happened to just be volunteers, and so I moved them in a little row and it all worked out. This is the amaranth patch that I haven't cut from yet. I really like getting those long droopy tails, and like, it's coming, and I could cut these, but I'm gonna wait. What is this yuck? We don't eat flowers, it doesn't matter. Hey, no touching. This is the Dahlia patch, and even though I started these dahlias very early in February, I'm still struggling to get decent blooms. It feels like there's only 1 or 2 every so often, and I feel like there should be way more by now. I put these little bags over them to help protect against thrip damage, as well as grasshoppers and lygus bugs. And while it's not 100% perfect, it does work pretty well. Over here are the filler flowers and supporting flowers, and this seems to be where as a grower I shine and have the best success. This Queen Anne's lace, while it maybe doesn't look so hot right now, this is the second flush of it, and this saved me earlier in the season. And we have tons of status, although it's still not enough. I'm probably gonna have to do at least 3 times this next year to have enough for dried and for fresh. Dara is a new crop to me, and I love how they have like these beautiful lavender tones, but then also some of these darker ones and the whites. They're gonna look so pretty in the bridal bouquets I'm making this weekend. So not too much to say really special about these, but I love all these flowers, so I'll just quick go through the names. We have some straw flowers over here. This batch of feverfew started out quite short stemmed, but has seemed to regroup with the recent rains. My aster crop is really starting to come. Of course, love these coral asters. Over here, these are, I believe, the Valkyrie type of asters. This one's not fully open, but these spiky bits, they might not look nice on the camera, but I promise you they look so good in real life. we'll definitely want to plant those. We have some salvia, but I'm not convinced I'm a fan. The pin cushions are finally starting to come. I find that once the pin cushions come on, I'm constantly cutting from these, and they're a really good investment for me. And then the zinnias, they're finally starting to bloom. But I've got to say, in the last 3 years, I have not had very successful zinnia crops, and this is like a little better, but not much. I just feel these should be a lot fuller by now. So this part of the yard is kind of like the garden of shame. This is our vegetable garden, and unfortunately it's not doing too well, and that's because of our soil health. So last year we had a consultation with our soil scientist friend Ashley from Gardening in Canada. You can check out that video here. And you know, as much as we tried to do some amendments this year, it just hasn't been enough. So I think we really need to rethink our strategy and really put a lot more into the soil before we have vegetables again. But I don't know, see our shame. So thanks for joining me in my Zone 3 early August gardening tour. Hopefully we'll be able to do another one a little bit later in the month, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.